not if he had not attacked his own command center. I mean, they just kind of dropped and stemmed, and it was down. He didn't. Mechtastic really didn't have a whole lot of time to react to that.
So we're going into Bale Sheer Vestige. Is this the first game we've had on this map this evening?
Nope.
All right. In that case, it's not.
In the bottom right, we have the victor of Game 1. Can he pull out Game 2, and will he do the drop play that he did in Game 1? We have the Red Terran Mechtastic.
And in the upper right corner, we have the Blue Terran in the blue shorts with the blue trunks. It's dfraz. Which reminds me, we put up the scoreboard. So, what are we going to see this game? Looks like dfraz is rallying his SCV to the ramp to build his first supply depot. Same with Mechtastic. Mechtastic was holding off a little bit until he had that critical 100 minerals.
Yeah, it's hard to build a supply depot without 100 minerals.
Some have tried. All have failed.
All have failed.
Looks like Mechtastic's worker bee here has quite a lot of work to do once he's done with that supply depot. He's going to be running a couple marathons there.
Misbehaved and had to run laps.
Work faster. Both barracks going down at the exact same time. So far we're exactly identical. The big question will be, is there going to be some gas that goes down which will indicate those Reapers in, as we see dfraz puts down his gas, and gosh, I feel like we're watching Entity and
Mechtastic.
And the last game where everything was mirrored.
Yeah, you're right. Dance.
Same exact refinery timing, same exact barracks timing. So let's see where the deviation's going to be. Looks like a SCV is going to come out here, maybe do some scouting. Mechtastic had the same thought, sent his out a little bit sooner.
You know, when you have a name like Mechtastic, I can't help but just anticipate mech and get really excited. I'm like, I want to see some mech. I don't just want to see, as exciting as they are, drop play is great, but you know, I'd like to see a little bit of mech play out of Mechtastic.
How do you think that affects you on the ladder? If you've got a name like Mechtastic, do you think more often than not people will sort of blind counter mech?
I mean, it's possible, and that may be his strategy. Just say, I'm going to make a name that's mech heavy and then only do bio play.
Mechtastic raised his supply depot at just the right time to deny the scout of dfraz. Mechtastic also did not get much scouting done himself. That Marine just chilling out there waiting to pick off any loitering or soliciting SCVs.
dfraz tried to go for the opportunity, but Mechtastic was able to raise that supply depot after getting his SCV in. And he's now going to go hunt down that SCV with his Reaper.
And here, SCVs have taken up Avon salesmanship these last few days, and those Terrans are just building those walls fast to keep that out. No more lotion or perfume needed. The SCV was taken out by the Reaper, but that also does let dfraz know that there's a Reaper on the field.
That's right. And he's opted for a reactor on his barracks and is putting down a factory.
Mechtastic going for the quick command center again.
He
Actually,
likes to expand.
dfraz took the quick command center last game. A little confrontation here between the Marines and the Reaper.
Second Reaper has come out.
Heading up to meet up with his buddy. Oh, I guess not. He took a quick turn to go back to the tower.
Starport coming out from dfraz this time, but not proxy.
Looks like we're going to have a modern day 1-1-1 going on here. But it is kind of the same look as before with when he made that push with the Marines and the one Hellion.
Yep.
So, and we are only. Oh, comes the Reapers up in the base. Hellion gets one shot off on them. Two shots.
Only hitting the one.
The Reapers are going to come out and heal themselves magically. They carry med packs.
They clearly do.
Under those little wings is first aid kits. Those Reapers have been really good at denying the scouting of dfraz, as that's the second SCV they've taken out. Those Hellions positioned on the ramp to really stop those Hellions from wanting to come up that way. It looks like dfraz is now going for his mine after he put down that starport, and he's getting a medevac now, so I'm looking like it's going to be some kind of kind of mind drop as dfraz is now pushing away, killing one of the Reapers, and it looks like the second one's doom is about to be met.
Yeah, there's a big push coming out from dfraz right now. The only thing that Mechtastic has to deal with it are the 2 Hellions that are out at his front.
Hellion's not so good against supply depots.
No, not great.
But they get 3 hits in nonetheless. Now it's going to be a Hellion versus Hellion battle.
Does pick off one of the Hellions before the rest of the army gets there, but...
Oh, there comes the mine. We'll put the Hellions. Is it going to be able to get a shot off? It does.
Get out.
Not.
He does get it buried.
Need some glasses.
Mechtastic is repairing those Hellions with some SCVs that were mining it as natural.
dfraz just loaded up most of his army that was there into that medevac, and he's going to fly around to the right side of the base here.
Mechtastic does have a Viking coming out, though.
Not sure where dfraz is going. He's kind of flying, he's kind of just chilling here.
It looks like he's trying to get better positioning to drop in the back there, to really have to...
he definitely took the long way around.
And he did eat a shot from that Widow Mine on those Hellions, but it only did about half damage.
Big Marine drop in the back. It's going to do a lot of damage also with that Hellion. Looks like 1 SCV dead so far. Looks like he's going to be pulling back those SCVs to attack. That Hellion is just going to get some really great shots off. He's going to load off, losing only 1 unit and boost out away from that Viking. But he did get to see that Mechtastic has 2 factories and 3 factories. And what do you do with 3 factories?
You make mech.
You make mech.
So there is a siege tank in production. A lot of Hellions are being made. Are you going to have to eat crow on this this Firebat prediction?
Oh no, is there Hellbats coming out? Not yet. Not yet. But dfraz is going for a double command center in his base, so he's trying to get the expansion up, but not feeling like he has all that good of control. He's building them in his base with that mine out there. But there's a lot of Hellions coming in. These Marauders are going to probably do some good damage, and they eat a shot from that mine.
But in the meantime, there is a dfraz drop going down on the natural of Mechtastic.
Does quite a bit of damage, but he's not going to get all that far with those burrowing mines. He's very smart to just load up and move around them, but there are Marines there to meet him, so he's going to pull on out and
try and pick off this expansion. Widow Mines move up because offensive Widow Mines, right?
Chase him down, man. Chase him down. Here comes the tank.
And there's the shot.
Oh, no.
Huge damage done, and that cleans that up. Medevac gets out of dodge.
So we're at a bit of a stalemate now. There's been a lot of action so far, but everyone's just kind of settling into their own bases. There is a Hellbat on the field.
Uh-oh.
2 Hellbats on the field. So it looks like it's going to be Hellbat, tank. So
how do you like your crow? Do you like it in pie form, or?
I've just gotten used to eating it lately. I love it. There are Hellbats on the field, but unfortunately, Hellbats do not count as mech.
That's true. Well, it says it's a light biological and mechanical unit when you highlight the unit.
I see. So a 3/4 of the way loaded medevac is going to fly right almost near these Hellions. Are they gonna see it? No. No one saw anybody. So these Hellions are gonna move on up, and if they approach too close, they're gonna run into that Marine. This medevac again is taking the long way around, not wanting to run into any units that could be on the cross paths. Hellions taking on rocks. They'll be there a while. Oh, boosted medevacs right next to each other. So many
Weapon
cross.
1 has just finished for Mechtastic, so he looks like he has found a tech path that he's enjoying. The drop goes down. Tank's doing damage.
Oh, those tanks. So much damage.
Medevac just leaves the Marines to die and gets out of there.
Now, Mechtastic, if you really want me to eat crow, Mechtastic has 2 Hellbats loaded up in a medevac heading up the left side of the map, as well as 4 Hellions coming up the right side. So these Hellions are probably going to run headlong into this mine and this army, so they're not going to be able to do a ton of damage, but there is a turret here that's going to deter this medevac. But if he boosts right past it, he's going to drop these Hellbats right in the mineral line.
Stutter step to clean up those Hellions by dfraz in the front.
A lot of lost SCVs there.
Incoming.
Still losing them.
5 more Hellions going up there, just kind of poking around. One shot goes off by the mine, picking off one of the Hellions.
A whole army has to pull back to deal with that Hellbat in the main. Looking at the workers lost, it's 14 to 12, so that's fairly even. But no, there's a drop in Mechtastic's base by dfraz, but there's a mine there and tanks, and everything is just getting destroyed. dfraz loses a lot in that engagement.
Mechtastic opts to pull those 4 Hellions that were at dfraz's front back to his natural, meet up with the rest of his army, although he has 2 more moving out.
Unfortunately, so far, dfraz's bio army has been largely countered by Mechtastic's mech army. Those tanks have just been in the really good positions to stop all the drops and things that dfraz has tried to do.
And it looks like we're going to see Mechtastic start to maneuver himself in a way to do a
2 SCVs lost to these SCVs that were coming over. It looks like either to do some group building, but those SCVs will be cleaned up. But as Mechtastic moves up the middle,
those 3 Marines pulled dfraz's army out of position, giving Mechtastic a great opportunity to just set up how he wants.
This is exactly how he won Game 1, setting those tanks up. And if he's got enough units to block the damage of those mech, if he's got enough stuff to shield the damage of those bio units on his tanks, looks like even the SCVs come up to participate, but he does.
And we got, there's that Hellbat just being healed and tanking damage. Tank's doing a lot of structural damage, but in comes a drop right on top of the tanks.
A lot of damage to those tanks by the other tanks by dropping those units right on top of them. Great cleanup by dfraz. Really hard for tanks to shoot that close, and Mechtastic at the same time is taking a 3rd base and moving out with more Hellions. He just keeps up that Hellion harass. And it looks like right now the natural of dfraz is very vulnerable to this Hellions. Oh my gosh, the SCVs are going to be coming out. Are the Hellions going to come to the right? The base is going to fly down to the 3rd base position, but these SCVs are going to walk right into the Hellions, and the Hellions move to block the base landing. That's going to be a lot of dead workers.
Yep.
Looks like we're down to 34 workers killed by Mechtastic. That'll leave a mark.
Yep. dfraz is boosting in a drop on the 3rd that was recently placed. Had one of those spidey sense feelings about that 3rd.
Medevac wars.
There is a Viking down in the lower left, and if dfraz is going to walk right into it, and the Viking's going to give chase.
dfraz comes up with, looks like 2 medevacs worth of units that came out to clean up those 4 Hellions so that 3rd base could land. Now both of them have successfully established their 3rd bases, although Mechtastic with his 0-1 tanks and dfraz with his 1-1 bio are looking to be in a little bit of a stalemate here, it looks like.
That Viking was able to clean up that drop in the lower left. We now see that Mechtastic is getting his vehicle weapons level 2, and he's also getting high-sec auto-tracking.
Mechtastic looks like he's going to try and make another drop here in the natural of dfraz, and there's unfortunately no turrets on the right side, so he's going to be able to just walk in here with this medevac. He didn't even need to use that boost. He could have saved it to be able to get out. There's going to be more workers killed. He's really relying on killing a lot of SCVs to take charge of this game. Oh, nice drop on those Hellbats to kill all the SCVs. So many SCVs get killed right there.
dfraz is undeterred, though. His main army is moving towards the 3rd, but he's going to be met by Hellbats, Hellions, and tanks.
It's 1 tank on siege there while there's a 2nd army of tanks, and it's going to, even just his 2nd, oh, he's going to run up on them before they're even sieged, but that mine, they managed to take it out before it comes in, but that Viking is going to give chase to those medevacs as they boost away.
All is well with the world.
All is well with the world.
The food
Units
differential
lost tab is favoring Mechtastic right now.
We had the same thought. Food differential's only about 20 difference. 3 upgrades going down for dfraz for his bio. He's largely committing to this bio medevac play with a few mines, and Mechtastic committing to his mech play. Looks like he's getting Terran plating
3-3 going down for dfraz. And here we go with another push in the front of the 3rd. by dfraz, picking off the 2 Vikings that were there for defense against the medevac drops. He's regrouping and pushing towards the natural.
Mechtastic is really pushing ahead in the food count, though. The units lost is fairly consistent between our 2 players, but Mechtastic, like I said, is really growing the food count. The differential was only 20 a minute ago. Now it's getting closer to 30. And Mechtastic, it just has a huge line of tanks, and
those
now
medevacs
Thor
are
set up.
way. Oh, if those Hellions had pulled back, they could have done some damage. Well, they probably would have gotten picked off, but
That Thor is going to be a nice big deterrent to those medevacs.
and those
It
are
has
low
such
health
long
medevacs.
range. One of them having only 11 hit points. Hellions moving in, forcing a cancel on the 4th base for dfraz. But there's some concussive shell marauders that are going to put a stop to those Hellions.
Mechtastic has some really great attack paths with these Hellions. He's going on the outskirts, avoiding the army of dfraz and hitting 2 bases at the same time, really consuming a lot of dfraz's APM. He's going to try and hit this 3rd base by Mechtastic, but still there's tanks there just ready to deal with it.
Prior to this advance, Mechtastic managed to take out about 6 or 8 more SCVs, but dfraz is going to have enough of his bow units to push in here, but all the SCVs repairing the commencer, he's not going to be able to take it out before the reinforcements arrive, and he's going to just have to pull back.
But he's lost all his medevacs, and he's not stimming out, so he's just trying to commit to killing that. Oh, but all the marauders, as soon as he lifts, stop firing, and now he's just trying to get out of there.
Hellion counterattack by Mechtastic at dfraz's 3rd base kills all the SCVs. Mechtastic is just really using this sort of lead him out style by just not really making any big strong pushes besides that one push he made a little while ago, and just really just taking a hit to the economy of dfraz by killing 64 of his workers now.
Honestly, Mechtastic's play kind of reminds me a little bit of Zerg right now. Is what we're seeing is he's kind of setting up a base defense, and he's just doing some run-bys with mineral units like Hellions. He's just getting into the bases, trying to kill units, trying to kill workers, and then holding off any push at the front that dfraz can mount. And
We've got
dfraz
2
really
current engagements here with the siege up at the 3rd of dfraz, and dfraz pushing at Mechtastic's.
But he is idle, and the tanks are going to siege up and get 3 shots off on the tail end of that push.
dfraz is now going to be alternating between the 2nd and 3rd as the 2nd of Mechtastic was lifted. Siege tanks are stationary at the moment while he manages to try and do his best to save these bases, getting most of his SCVs away.
dfraz pulling a lot of SCVs, and Marines right into the army, realizes that was a bad idea, pulling back. And Mechtastic sees not a whole lot's going on up there. He's going to kind of walk up and try and do some big damage here.
Mechtastic now, after sitting idle for a few seconds next to that pushing little force of dfraz, decides to come in and clean that out so he can put his 3rd base back. Oh, all the SCVs are going to... This is probably going to be a GG for dfraz as he loses most of his remaining SCVs, killing that Thor. He may be able to take out these tanks, but the food differential is 143 to 22 right now, Nick.
7 SCVs remain.
He's trying to micro his little heart out, dropping his last couple units on those tanks.
And there's the GG.
GG indeed.
Mechtastic takes the series 2-0.
Our first 2-0 of the game. Nick, you want to see if you can get Mechtastic to come over and have a little chat with us?
Yeah, let's see if we can get our players in.
That, of course, was our last series of the day. We're going to see